Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is win your own life. Well, what I mean is you can, go online and look at other people, what they're doing to win, or what types of things they're doing in their lives that make it nice, or what they would consider great. But you really want to focus on what makes you feel like you're winning your life. What are you doing? How do you want your life to look? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do for a living? What kind of experiences do you want? And by spending the time to figure out all what that is, that makes winning your own life more doable. See, if you don't do that, you're just kind of at the mercy of other people. You're kind of slotted into their lives, and you have some role to play in their lives, but that's not satisfying. That doesn't make for a happier man life. What you would want to do, what I recommend you do, is spend considerable time figuring out what makes you happy, and just as much time figuring out what makes you miserable and what gives you frustrations, so you can, deal with those frustrations and move away from them, deal with them, figure out a way around them, figure out how not to deal with situations that make you unhappy. And B, that will give you more time to focus on what you want to do, and then you go ahead and do it. And I would call that winning your own life, because you're purposefully figuring out, well, what would it take? What would my winning life look like? And what would my losing life look like? And then I would start to move away from the losing and start moving toward the winning. So I've overcome enormous difficulties in my life, and a lot of this is my own foolish decisions, and sometimes just pure luck, poor luck, and just not spending enough. I think in my case, not spending enough time figuring out what my preferences are, what makes me happy, what would it take for me to feel like I'm winning at life. And I would say maybe the last 10 years or so, I have been steadily winning my life. I'm doing things that I love to do. I'm spending the time how I want to spend it. I'm minimizing how much time I'm dealing with frustrations and problems. And even when frustrations and problems pop up, I try to focus on them and get them behind me as quickly as possible. For example, right now, my car is in the shop. It needs lots of repairs, expensive repairs, but it's being repaired, and I'm looking forward to getting it back in the near future and happily going to pay the repair cost, because I don't like the frustration of having a car that's not running well. And I also have currently a little injury in my hip that's kind of given me a lot of problems and very annoying. But I'm doing what I can to relieve the pain, to stretch, to rest, to kind of get past this injury and get back on track. I want to win my life. I have had extreme problems. I talked about the verbal abuse I've suffered under my wife and the reasons I left her, and all of that's detailed in my book, Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man with the 3-Step System, available on the ahappierman.com website. But when I was married, I was definitely not winning my life. I was totally losing consistently, getting beat up, not physically beat up, but just mentally beat up and spiritually whipped. And I just felt like my whole life was just for nothing, right? And since I left her, and started rebuilding my life again, I have been steadily winning. And the more, I guess I'm recommending that the more time you spend figuring out what it would take for you to consider your life a win, the more likely you're going to take the steps necessary to make that happen. So whatever frustrates you the most, find a way out of that. So let's say that the biggest frustration was that marriage I was in. I got out of the marriage. And then even the years after I left her, when I had an ex-wife, she continued to give me lots of problems. And then I found a way to end those problems. And I've had good jobs and bad jobs. And when I've had bad jobs, I've made it my priority to find a better job. And when I've been frustrated in the lack of fun in my life, I've focused on it and made fun the priority. And when I've been frustrated with excessive things that I want to do, I've found ways to get past those and not deal with those excessive frustrations and problems and things that I had no interest in doing. If I don't have any interest in doing it, I figure out a way not to do it or to get it done with as fast as possible. To me, that's winning my life. You know, I've talked about some of my traveling, and doing extensive traveling is something that I love. I love it a lot, and I've won because of the traveling. I love it. I love to reminisce about it. I love thinking about it. I love going back over my notes and reviewing the fun I've had with traveling, and that helps me to plan future trips. So give that idea of winning your life some serious thought, all for now.